Hello, Taurus, and welcome to this, your May 15th through May 31st reading and predictions. For those of you who are returning, you'll notice my background has changed yet again. As I mentioned last month, my son and I were moving, and we have made a decision to go full on nomadic. So what that means is you're going to be seeing an awful lot of changes in my background in the coming days, weeks, months, and potentially years, depending on what we decide to do. So I will be moving around, and things are just, the readings are going to still continue to come to you twice a month, right around the 1st and around the 15th of each month, but the backgrounds are going to change. So this month I am coming to you from beautiful Medicine Hat, Alberta, and I am currently sitting in my cousin's man cave. Yes, he was generous enough to donate his man cave so that I am able to have some quiet time. Hopefully it'll stay quiet, and I can bring this video to you. For those of you who are new here, a very warm welcome to each and every one of you. My name is Marnie, and I am also known as the Intuitive Butterfly. I am a psychic, I am intuitive, and I am also a certified intuitive counselor. So if what you see here today resonates with you, by all means, check out the links below and book a private session with me. I do still conduct private readings one-on-one, and all the information will be down below. I work with a number of different oracle cards as well as tarot card decks. I pull all of the cards before I actually start reading them. And as I'm pulling the cards, I leave all of the cards sitting face down. The reason that I do this is because I found that it allows for more of the psychic and intuition to come up rather than me being able to, or the conscious mind being able to look at the cards and begin to try and make interpretations of the cards ahead of time. So that's why I leave them face down until I'm actually ready to read each card. Okay, Taurus, let's get started. The first card that we're going to pull for you, Taurus, is going to be cards of where you are at now, here as I record this video in the middle of May. We've got 2 cards that have come out for you already. Right? Is there anything else for where the Taurans are at? Here in the middle of May, there's another card. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to collect these cards up and put them in the order in which they came out. The next cards that we're going to pull for you, Taurus, are going to be the cards of what you are focusing on. Let's have a look at what you're focusing on for the last half of May. And that one is all the way down on the floor. That is not a good thing. All right. Is there anything else that the Taurans are focusing on? Yep, there's another card out. All right. Excuse me for just 1 second. I'm going to get your card off the floor. Okay. It's kind of a little bit of an acrobatic technique to try and get off this high bar stool and get things off the floor here. So that's why I paused the video. Okay, Taurus, the next cards that we're going to pull for you are cards of your difficult influences for the last half of May 2023. Let's try not to drop cards on the floor again. All right, difficult influences for Taurus, May 15th through May 31st, 2023. What are the difficult influences facing the Taurans at this time? Is there anything else? Anything else? Anything else for the Taurans? No, I think we're good. Okay. The next card that we're going to pull for you, Taurus, is going to be a card that just makes sense. Now, the just makes sense card has kind of 2 intentions behind it in a reading. The card that just makes sense can do one of 2 things. Either it pulls everything else together. So if the first few cards that I pull out for you, as I begin to read them, they seem kind of disjointed and not kind of gelling together and coming up with the full picture, the card that just makes sense, oftentimes we'll turn it over and all of a sudden we'll go, oh, okay, this makes sense. This card makes sense. Okay, now I can see how they're working together. The other thing that the card that just makes sense does in a reading is oftentimes the card that just makes sense has the identical meaning to another card in your reading. So for example, if the moon comes out somewhere in your reading, sometimes a second moon will appear in the card that just makes sense. And what this does for you, Taurus, is it gives you that double confirmation that you really need to sit up and pay attention to the energies and the meanings behind the particular card in question. Okay. I am getting called over here. I have 4 decks sitting over here. I'm getting called to 2 of them. The card that just makes sense. Okay, we might be pulling 2 cards from 2 different decks because in my mind's eye, I can see sort of a bit of a pile sitting there. Card that just makes sense for Taurus. Last half of May, please. Card that just makes sense. Card that just makes sense. Doesn't want to come out, I guess. All right, we'll go through it one more time. And if not, we'll pull from a different deck. Card that just makes sense for Taurus. This time, we do have a card that didn't quite flip out, but it's sitting lopsided. Oh, and now we have a whole bunch out. Okay, I am going to pull these 2 cards because they are not wishing to go back into the deck. And then we've got quite a pile here. Quite a pile. Let's see if there's one more card. I think that there's maybe one more card here. Doesn't want to come out that way. So one more card for the Taurans. No, there might not be another one. Let's just see here. No, I'm getting called to a different deck over here to pull at least one more card for you. One more card. Is there one more card for Taurus for this makes sense? Yeah, there we go. Actually, I think there's 2 cards stuck together there that just flipped out. So we'll have a look at those in just a second. Yeah, there's 2 cards here. Okay. The next card that we're going to pull out for you, Taurus, is going to be cards of your unexpected. Where are we going for unexpected? We're going back over here to the fairies. Unexpected influences and insights for Taurus. Whoa, we've got cards flipping out everywhere here. Yep. Unexpected. What is unexpected for Taurus? Unexpected. There's another one. Okay. So interestingly, this was the first card that came out, and sorry, I bumped that. I bumped the recording by mistake. Okay, that was the first card that came out. These 2 jumped out. That one jumped out. This one came out over here. Now, there's 2 cards here that you'll notice from the deck, they did not go back into the deck. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these 2 cards. I'm going to set them off to the side. We may or may not take a peek at those cards, Taurus. We will wait and see. All right, so final general overall outcome for Taurus for the end of May. General overall outcome. Oh, I think those cards might be your general overall outcome. The ones I set aside there. Yeah. Okay, general overall outcome for Taurus. Now, the general overall outcome cards for you, Taurus, are the cards that predict or project the energies that will be affecting you and where you're going to be at the furthest out for the intended time period of this reading. I also just want to mention, and I forgot to mention it at the beginning, that this reading is good for anybody born under the sign of Taurus, as well as anybody who has a significant amount of Taurus in their charts. Okay, let's go through this one more time. General overall outcome. General overall outcome cards for Taurus for predicting and projecting to the end of May. Okay, so we do have one card that's come out. Is there anything else? Okay. All right, so I think maybe because I'm getting pulled towards these two cards here that came out, I think that we'll end up just resting those with your general overall outcome as well. Okay. I'm going to just move my cursor here so I don't affect the video recording. All right, where are you at now, Taurus? 10 of Autumn, also known as the 10 of Pentacles. You have the King of Autumn, also known as the King of Pentacles. And you have the Strength card. Possible Leo coming in and affecting you at some point? Not sure. But the Strength card is the Leo card. You can see the big lion here. Okay, so the 10 of Autumn is a card of making sure that you have your finances in order. And if I'm not mistaken, I believe that earlier this month, like for the May 1st through May 15th reading, I'm trying to remember if it was your sign, Taurus, or one of the other zodiac signs that had really, really strong messages regarding their finances. And regarding making sure that their finances are in order, making sure that you have financial security. As many of us know, I'm not going to say as we all know, as many of us know, there are significant changes coming to our banking systems, coming to the way that we do business on this planet. And unless there's something that really, really shakes things up, it looks like the vast majority of people on the planet may be using some form of digital currency in the coming days, weeks, months, and years. There are significant concerns about digital currencies. I won't say a whole lot more on that. Please do your own research because I am not a certified financial advisor. I cannot give you specific advice. But what this 10 of Autumn is telling me, Taurus, is that for your sign in particular, you're actually the first sign this month to receive this card. And I only have 2 more zodiac signs to record after you. And you are the first zodiac sign to get this 10 of Autumn, and this 10 of Autumn card speaks really, really loudly to financial preparation and financial security is just really important. Making wise investments and saving for a rainy day and so on and so forth. So that is where you're at now as I'm pulling these cards here in the middle of May. The next card that you have is the King of Autumn. This is from the same suit. It is also an autumn card here. And the 10 of Autumn is about being assertive. When we look at our own finances, is there a need for us to be assertive? Absolutely. There's no two ways about it. You do need to be making sure that your ducks are in a row, which means you need to speak your truth. Okay. And if your truth is that you want to withdraw money from the bank and the bank manager is, for example, giving you a hard time, asking you inappropriate questions like what your intention is behind withdrawing the money, that's none of their business. It's your money. Okay. So if you go into the bank and you say, I'd like to withdraw $1,000 and the teller or the bank manager says, and what are you going to use that for? Be assertive. It's your choice whether you choose to tell them what you're going to use your money for. Once we move to digital currencies, we don't have the same rights and privileges, shall we say. Okay, so that's part of what this card is asking you to look into and investigate at this time, Taurus. Okay. The King of Autumn is also a card of things are going your way. Okay, so this is not all doom and gloom here, not by any stretch of the imagination, but it is indicating that there are certain steps that you're going to need to take in the coming days and weeks, Taurus, in order to ensure your financial future. You also have the Strength card here, and the Strength card is a card of you are stronger than you think. You have the capacity and capabilities to do anything that you want. Okay. This is actually a really lovely card. I love this. I love it when this card comes up. Okay. The other thing that this card may represent, and unlike many of the other cards in the deck, I can only think of one or two other cards that really kind of scream another sign may be coming in at this time for you. So the Strength card, as I mentioned, is representative of Leo the lion. So watch for that, Taurus. There is a possibility that a Leo may already be in your life or be coming into your life. And because this card came out with two cards in the suit of Pentacles / Autumn, there's a possibility that it may be a Leo that is either testing your strength and resolve with regards to work or money, or it may be that there's a Leo coming in for you in order to be able to help you with the preparation that the 10 is indicating here, right? Because the 10 is indicating preparation with regards to money, job, work, career, and your financial future. So there's a possibility that the person that's going to help you may be a Leo. All right, let's have a look at what you're focusing on. Okay. I want to point out that you are the second and potentially even the third, if I remember correctly, sign to get this card, the Winter card, take care of your needs card in your focus. I'm going to dive deeper into this card in just a moment, but the Geminis also, Gemini, and I believe there was one other, but I can't remember which zodiac sign it was, but Gemini definitely, is it Gemini or Cancer? Oh, geez. They're all rolling around in my head. This is what happens when you move. Things get all mixed up. Okay, it was either Gemini or Cancer who had the Winter card in their focus as well, which is interesting to me that two zodiac signs had the identical card from the identical deck come up in the identical location in their reading. This is an indication that there is a huge portion of the population right now that needs to be looking after themselves. They need to be taking care of their own needs. Now, taking care of your own needs also plays into this 10 of Autumn card, right? Because you want to make sure that you are creating a financial and career type security and future for you and your family. And this card indicates something similar. Also, with the wolf here, this is about finding your community. Okay. The wolf is a pack animal. The wolf does not survive for an extreme length of time in the wild as a lone wolf. Sure, it can survive for a little while, just as we all can. But ultimately, at some point in time, we need to find our pack. The other thing that this card brings up, Taurus, is winter. At some point in time, you will be asked in the next 2 to 2.5 weeks, because the intention behind this reading is the time period, May 15th through May 31st, to almost cocoon, step back, take some time for yourself. Okay. The next card that you have in your focus is the Eagle. The Eagle is about seeing things from the higher perspective. Eagles, out of all of the creatures that we have on our planet, to the best of our knowledge, the eagle has some of the best vision out of any other creature. Their ability to be able to see is fantastic. Oh, to have the vision of the eagle. And the eagle, as you know, flies. So the eagle's perspective is always from above. And so Taurus, at this time, your focus is to be able to see the bigger picture. That actually plays right into these two pentacle cards or autumn cards that have come up here, in that you need to be paying attention to financial things from a global or from a higher perspective at this time, not just paying attention to your own bank balance. You need to be paying attention to what's going on in the world as the world makes this shift from cash economy and privacy to digital currencies and whatever that brings. I'm not going to go into a lot of details there. Okay. So just make sure that you're paying attention to things from a higher perspective. See the bigger picture at this time, Taurus. Difficult influences. Okay. Difficult influences. You have this beacon card, this wise leader card, be a beacon for others. And what this card is saying, because it's in your difficult influences, is that you do have some knowledge, some gifts, some skills that you have the capacity and ability to share with others, but you may be kind of shying away from that at this time. You're being called upon to be a wise leader at this time. This being in your difficult influences, you're shying away from that, and you're being told, please don't shy away from that. Step up, step into that role. Let's have a look at the cards that just make sense. Now, we did have a little difficulty getting these cards out. Let's have a look at what we have here. Okay. You have forest and diversity. Now, this card makes sense here because in order to have a secure financial future, what do you need to do? Because this card is talking about a secure financial future, as is the King of Autumn. It's coming from the same suit. In order to be able to have that, you need to diversify. Okay, that was really weird. My guide is telling me to tell you, your secure financial future may be about also burying some money out in the woods. I don't know where that came from. I honestly don't. I just repeat what comes up during a reading. I do go into a light trance-like state. And this just came in. It's like, okay, so bury a box of money out in the woods. I don't know where that came from, Taurus. Like I said, I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what my guide said with regards to this card. I'm kind of laughing about it. Do with it what you will. The next card that you have in your This Makes Sense is the Wind card, the movement card. This is a card of taking action. This is a card of don't sit on your haunches, sit back and wait for someone else to do the work. This is a card of you need to do the work. You need to be moving forward on this. This is a card that is actually coming up with the energy of a little bit of urgency when it comes to your money and finances, because I think things are moving more quickly than you may think they are. You have the Knight of Wands here, and the wands, again, are representative of fire and movement. Move forward, okay? This is not a card of sitting back on your haunches. This is a card that there are unpredictable changes. The Knight of Wands is unpredictable. And so this is a card indicating there are unpredictable changes on the horizon. This makes sense, right? Because we know this is coming. Okay, so we know that there is a financial change and a financial shift coming in this world, on this planet. And yet it's still a little bit unpredictable because we don't know exactly how it's going to play out or what it's going to look like in 6 months, 10 months, 6 years, 6 weeks, whatever. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like. We just know it's coming. And so that can feel really, really unstable and unpredictable to us. This is a card that there are some challenges coming, particularly potentially challenges with regards to money. And the other card that you have here is the Nine of Pentacles. Oh, look, another pentacle, right? Pentacles represent money and career. You have the Nine of Pentacles here. And the Nine of Pentacles is actually a really positive card. It's a card indicating that you do have some financial security around you. You've got that money for a rainy day. But this card is saying, make sure that you're putting that money for a rainy day in a safe place, in a safe environment. Make sure that you're doing your research. And yeah, so this card is indicating that, you know, the resources are there and available to you. All right, let's have a look at your unexpected. Unexpected. Okay. Oh, you have another king here. You have the King of Pentacles over here, and you've got the King of Summer here. This is also known as the King of Cups. But the reason that I said, is because the first card in your unexpected is life experience. This card corresponds to the number 16 in the major arcana of the traditional tarot. This card corresponds to the Tower. What does the Tower represent for you, Taurus? It represents significant change. It represents letting go of the old in order to be able to welcome the new. It represents looking at what is no longer serving you and getting rid of it. And here's the thing, there are other cards in the tarot, Taurus, that say, hey, it's time to let go of the past. Hey, you should be looking at certain things and letting go of the past. This is a card of, you know what? We gave you warnings. We told you to look at things and let go of the past, and you didn't. So now we're going to force it upon you. Okay. In the tarot, the minor arcana are cards that make suggestions. The major arcana, such as this, are cards that yell and scream at you and say, this is coming whether you like it or not. So what this is telling me, Taurus, is that, and also double whammy here for you, sorry, but came up in your unexpected influences. And here's the thing, most Tower moments are also unexpected. So this is kind of a double reinforcement that sometime between May 15th and May 31st, Taurus, there's a really good possibility that you're going to have a Tower moment where something is going to go sideways and you're going to go, oh my God, where did that come from? And then you're going to go, oh yeah, I watched that reading. Should have seen that one coming, because that's really what this card is about. And this is a life-changing event for you. Now, what does this involve? Well, it could involve, now, the Tower, again, going back to this, is about letting go of the past and letting go of that which no longer serves us. You have the Six of Summer, also known as the Six of Cups here. And the Six of Cups is about potentially things from the past cropping up and then us needing to make decisions. And it's usually people who crop up from our past. Oh, wow. This could even be somebody from your past cropping up and saying, hey, loan me some money. I don't know why, but that just came up for me. The money has been the dominant feature in the rest of your reading. And now you've got these cups coming in. You've got two cups cards coming in, the Six of Summer and the King of Summer, both representative of the cups suit. This could even indicate that somebody is coming in from your past, because the Six of Cups represents something coming up from your past, usually a person coming in from your past. And this could even be somebody hitting you up for money. You have the King of Summer here. Now, the King of Summer, also known as the King of Cups, is about somebody coming in whom you can trust. You know what? This Leo card wants to pop back out here. This Strength card wants to pop back out, letting you know that you have more strength than you thought you did. But also, this is a card indicating there may be a mentor coming in. And again, this is a card of a mentor or getting good advice from someone. I'm going to go back to these cards in just a minute and kind of wrap this up because it's becoming really disjointed because there's so many cards in your unexpected. But just bear with me a second. The next card that you have in your unexpected is the Ace of Autumn. This is another pentacle. What does this mean? New beginnings specifically related to money, job, career, all of those things. Aces are all about new beginnings. How do we go about this? Oh, you know what? The last card in your unexpected has the identical meaning. There's an emergency. My cousin is emergency on call, emergency services on call, and there's something coming through on the radio. I hope that didn't get picked up in my microphone. Not sure if it did or not. Okay, so you have this card. This card is the equivalent to the number 12 in the major arcana of the tarot. This is the awakening card in this deck. This is the card of the Hanged Man. What does the Hangman tell us to do? Hangman tells us to see things from a different perspective or from a higher perspective. Really interesting, Taurus, that you have two cards with identical meanings here, both in your focus and in your unexpected. Okay, so let me just wrap up your unexpected cards here and tie everything together before we look at your final overall outcome, Taurus. You have something coming up unexpectedly in your unexpected influences sometime between May 15th and May 31st. In all likelihood, it probably pertains to money because you've got a ton of pentacles coming out in your reading here. You've got the Six of Summer coming up. The Six of Cups here is indicating that someone from your past may be coming forward at this time. And intuitively, it might be somebody coming in and wanting to hit you up for some money, maybe asking you for a loan. You're going to probably have somebody come in and give you some pretty good advice regarding money with this King of Cups here, including giving you some advice about whether you should loan this person the money or not. Okay. You've got the Ace of Autumn coming in, again, another Pentacles card. This is a card of new beginnings. Not surprising that you have a new beginnings card coming up when you have both the Tower and the Hanged Man on either end of this particular reading, on either end of this section of your reading. The Hanged Man card is all about seeing things from a different perspective. Now, as our financial system changes, Taurus, guess what? We don't have a choice but to see things from a different perspective. Remember what I said? The life experience card or the Tower card is about no longer having a choice. The change is upon us. The change is happening whether we like it or not, whether we want it to move forward or not. And that's going to force us to be able to look at things from a different perspective. It's interesting as well. Sorry, that emergency call is really loud. It's really distracting. Okay. So sorry, I had to go turn that radio down. Like I said, I'm in my cousin's man cave and he is on call for emergency services. And something's going on. So with all of these cards here, you have a card of major change in your unexpected influences, surrounded by another major arcana card that also indicates that in order to adapt to this Tower moment, you're going to have to see things from a different perspective. And it's interesting that you have the eagle here telling you to see things from a different perspective. Okay. Going back to your focus, you also have a card here telling you to make sure that you're taking care of your needs. This means both physical and your health, but it also can relate to taking care of your needs financially. Let's have a look at your general overall outcome. General overall outcome card that you have here, Taurus, is the Fool. The Fool has the number 0 on it. It is the very first card of the entire tarot. There is no other card before this one. This card is the card of 100, 1,000, 1,000,000% new beginnings. Okay. There's no two ways about it. There is a huge change and shift happening for you Taurans out there right now. And the general overall outcome is that most likely by the end of May, approximately. Now, if you are thinking, that's not going to happen that fast, or, oh, come the end of May, you want to send me hate mail and say, oh, your timing didn't line up. I go into a lot of detail about the timing for psychic readings and tarot readings in the April 1st through April 15th video that was done for your sign. So if you're interested in learning a little more about why sometimes the timings don't line up specifically, please go back and watch that portion of that video. But what these cards are indicating for you Taurans out there is that there is a significant change, significant shift. It is happening, and it is most likely pertaining to money and career for you. So the other two cards that came out from the Fairy Tarot that I had set aside, and then I sensed that they were maybe part of your outcome. I've just turned them over. You've got the 8. This is the card of justice. And you've got the 10 of spring coming out, also known as the 10 of wands coming out, in addition to the Fool card. So the Fool card in your general overall outcome is about new beginnings, amazing new things starting and happening. This is not a card to shy away from. This is a card to actually welcome and embrace, because generally when we start new beginnings and new things, there is some excitement in the air and the opportunity to mold the new beginning into what we really want to have and to see in the world. The Justice card is indicating that whatever this new beginning is that's coming out for you, Taurus, it's going to be more balanced and more fair. The Justice card is about the scales of justice and balancing things in such a way so that there is fairness and equality out there, so that decisions and outcomes are win-win. Okay. And the other card that you have here is the 10 of spring. The 10 of spring is a card of asking for help from others. You'll notice that the fairy represented on this particular card almost looks like Cinderella. And so this is a card that things may seem overwhelming. It may seem like you have too much work ahead of you, but when you ask for help and guidance from others, oh wait, didn't you have some other cards here about asking for help and guidance from others? Yes, you absolutely did. The King of Summer, the King of Cups here is a card of asking for advice and getting good advice from others. Oh, being assertive, but this King of Autumn is also about asking for advice. You've got, I think that you had one other card here. You had one other card here that also was about asking for advice. So, Cinderella ultimately asks for advice from her friends and she gets it. And all of a sudden, the work that she has ahead of her doesn't seem quite so overwhelming. So remember, as your general overall outcome, as you're going through all of this, Taurus, ask for help and ask for guidance from others. Okay. But definitely there's new beginnings here. Thank you so much for joining me, and I hope that you'll join me again coming up at the beginning of June for your next reading. Thank you so much.